everyone and welcome. Today we'll be talking about Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 and its accessibility features. Now, I'm just going to clarify a couple of things before we begin. I have a physical disability. I have a series on this channel called Accessibility in Gaming. This may not be for everybody, but it is still a series that we should talk about. Because everyone has the right to play games. And all because you need some accessibility features to help you doesn't mean you're less of a gamer than everybody else. So for those who are new to my channel, welcome. I am 35 years old and I have cerebral palsy. I only have the full use of my right hand. So it makes things a little bit difficult from time to time, especially within gaming, because my hands tense up so much. But through accessibility features, through finding different ways of doing things, I do what I love and I love what I do. And gaming is one of them. This game came out on Friday the 20th, 2023. And it's the follow-up to Insomniac's Spider-Man Miles Morales. The story takes off not long after the events of that game. And I can tell you now, as someone who isn't actually a Spider-Man fan, like I said, I've been enjoying this series all the way through. It is so fun and so satisfying to swing through Manhattan and the rest of New York and enjoying a good story. So before we begin, there is one thing I'd like to address, and that is that a few of the accessibility features that will be coming weren't available day one. So for instance, one of the features that I was looking forward to was the screen reader. And unfortunately, that will be coming out, and that will be added to the game in December. I will link the blog post, PlayStation's blog post explaining this, which is a good thing they were transparent about, but I was actually looking forward to playing around with the screen reader on launch. I've included a snippet of the blog post itself that you can pause and read through if you wish. If anyone has actually seen my Hogwarts Legacy accessibility features video, you would know that that is one of my favorite games of the year, but it's also one that includes an accessibility feature that I love, which is the screen reader. I really love it because it actually reads everything. The menus, the other dialogue options around, and it would have been so great to have that feature when it launched. But should I do this accessibility features now or in December? That was a line that I had to figure out. So I'm going to do it now and add a video down the line when the screen reader becomes available, because I want to see whether or not it's fully functional. And if anyone has actually seen my God of War Ragnarok video, you'd actually know that I wasn't impressed with that screen reader at all. It wasn't actually functional within the menus itself, which is what you'd need you would need. It only seemed like that one was around just for setup. Anyway, let's actually talk about the accessibility features within Spider-Man 2 and not badmouth other games' accessibility features, which were actually really good. So let's swing on in to this video. Get it? Because Spider-Man swings. Yeah, I know, that wasn't funny. And as I have a vision impairment as well as a disability that focuses on motor impairments as well, I am only focusing on those two aspects. I am not deaf and I'm not hearing impaired, so I can't attest to those settings. So let's start off with a feature that I find interesting. There is a setting called narrated ASL. And while I do think this is a good inclusion, especially if you're blind, but however, considering it's only limited to one character who is deaf, I do not actually think, I just find this a really weird inclusion. Don't get me wrong, I do actually think that Haley is an interesting character. You do actually get to play as her during one of the side missions, which I actually think is a good way of doing it. But at the same time, it's only used when Haley's on screen. But other than that, it's not necessarily, it's a good inclusion, but it's not necessarily a functional one for all the time. Like I said, good inclusion, not around for the rest of it. I haven't actually seen a game tackle a deaf character like the way Miles Morales and Spiderman 2 do. So, like I said, good feature to include. It's not necessarily practical all the time. And it can be toggled on and off. I just preferred not to have it on. I did to capture the footage, which I'll insert now.
Where's Mr. Sumida?
Oh, he just left. Something about going on vacation?
But before he left, he bought one of my paintings. He thinks I'm gonna be famous one day.
What? That's incredible, Haley.
Also, while you were gone, I found out that I got the Rand scholarship.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, that's like a full ride.
Yay!
Big day for everyone.
Let's continue on with one of the standards, shall we? And that is the high contrast colors and the high contrast background. Now, as you can see through the footage you are being shown, I got a little funky with the colors. And to be honest, other than God of War Ragnarok's high contrast colors, I actually find these ones to be more interesting because you got more color and more diverse color array, and that's always a good thing. So when I'm actually booting out a game up for the first time, I fiddle around with the colors, with the high contrast colors and all that. With the high contrast colors, you can change your hero color, your ally color, the NPC color, ranged enemies, advanced enemies, menace enemies, and boss enemies. You can change the color suites for all of them. The only ones I kept on were just for the collectibles, so it actually made it a lot easier for me to differentiate between the background. Even though it's a standard at this point, I still think it's actually a very good inclusion, and it's more robust than it was in Miles Morales as well, which I like. I mean, I like being able to see things clearly, and while you can turn the brightness up, which I do recommend you do, because this game can get visually dark in certain places. There were a couple of places where I got stuck because I couldn't see, either because the game bugged out on me, or I couldn't see where the next set of where I had to go was. And we'll get to what I think of all the buggies when we get to the end of this. It's not an accessibility feature, but I have encountered some bugs. Another great feature that the Spider-Man games actually have is you can increase the size of your waymarker. You can increase your waymarker size from the smallest up to a big mama. And that is so handy to see. Like, if you're like me and you've got a vision impairment, seeing and reading small print and seeing small icon size isn't exactly good. You can't see where you're going properly. And there are features for swinging as well, and for the web wings, which, by the way, I do not like the web wings. The web wings are useless. I mean, they're good for short distances, but I don't like the web wings. Text size. I do actually like the fact that you can, like the high contrast colors, you can change the text, like the waypoint markers, you can actually change it from small to medium to large to largest. But one of the things, like the high contrast colors, you can change the subtitle color to whatever you want. For instance, in mine, between the two playthroughs of doing the footage, one playthrough had a pink for the speaker color and a yellow for the subtitles themselves, while in the second playthrough footage that I got of the opening had a purple speaker color and an aqua subtitle color. You can also change the background color as well. You can have it all wacky colors if you wanted to, but it would be illegible. I just chose a simple black because black is the easiest to read everything on. And speaking of the swinging aspects, you can actually change how the swinging mechanic works to benefit you. You can also change the QTE inputs. And you can also change the opacity from light to medium to dark to full, which means if you need something the opacity of the background to be lighter or darker, you have that option. And that is always a good thing to see. One of the things I find good is that if you can have it turned on that if you push, I think it's R3, that the camera snaps to where you have to actually go next. So that's a good accessibility feature too, because that way you're at least pointed in the right direction, even if you can't see the waypoint marker. So yes, those are actually some of my favorite features within Spider-Man 2. There is a whole lot more we could talk about. And like I said in the intro, when the screen reader becomes available, I'll be doing a video, either a long video or a short, on what I think of it. Overall, I am actually enjoying my time with Spider-Man 2. There have been some bugs, and I'm currently dealing with a story bug that won't let me progress. But I uninstalled the game before I went to bed last night, and I reinstalled it to see if that'll help. I think it's called My New Wings, or something to do with wings and a cemetery. But other than that, I'm enjoying this game. Insomniac have done such a great job with this franchise, and it makes me interested to see what they're going to be doing with Wolverine next. I mean, I know more about the X-Men than I do about Spider-Man, but when it comes down to it, I don't know anything about superheroes in general. It's not my medium. But I do think, like I said, I watched the X-Men movies growing up. So like I said, Wolverine is one I'm cautiously looking forward to. And seeing as Insomniac are actually doing such a great job with Spider-Man, I really do hope that they're going to be doing such a great job with Wolverine too. So I will link the PlayStation blog with the accessibility features that will be upcoming below. And I will also link my accessibility in gaming. I will link my accessibility in gaming playlist down below and at the end title card as well. So I hope you found this helpful. Tell me, have you been playing Spider-Man 2? Have you been enjoying it? Have you encountered some of the weird bugs that I've read about online? Where one of them I kind of find interesting, where Miles gets turned into a cube. I mean, there are just, this game, even though it's great and awesome, there are some things that are really buggy about it. And it's not a fault of Insomniacs, it happens. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you're having a great day or a great night, depending on where you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.